Hello everyone and welcome back to Moratania. So we're really getting there with our lines, and what I want to try and do is make this more efficient. We've got our trains going around the track. In fact, we need to look into that one and spread those out. But first off, what I would really like to do is sort out this area. So what we do have is a major issue with the drop-off area. So that only has to be up here because we need it to effectively get to this train station and the food. So if we put a delivery section up here for all the grain, then that could be a good solution. So we've got fast roads up to there. If we drag a line off here, will it upgrade? Yes, it will. Good. Alright. We could even do a line here, maybe. If we do one this way, and one this way, we can do a nice little squiggly line there. It almost feels like we should maybe move this depot, have a second bridge coming across this way to connect up down here. So then the traffic doesn't have to go through the actual city here. We did something like that connecting in there. We go out this way. We connect up that. What we may need is something like this coming across. Can we have the So we're going to put the delivery part up here. So if we take medium country road, do it across like this. Then we need delivery buildings. We can put 2 in each section. There we go. That's a little bit overkill, we don't need that many, but what we can do is move these across. So instead of them having to get on the other side of all of this, they can just go here and then go back. So if we have them unload their grain, there we go, put that there. This line needs to move over here, might as well pop it there. And what I'm hoping it will reduce how much emissions and sound traffic go through that city. Snaithcoic. Oh, we don't need that. Just need that. If we had this go straight through here, yes, it deletes the road thing. We can't avoid that, unfortunately. Take that out. And then it has to go this way. Maybe we could have a road come across here. We can't go across there. Just trying to think how we can reduce how much traffic goes across here. Still. So we've got this station here. Excuse me, we've got some more trucks coming to pick up the food here. But now, what we need to look at is these 3 trains, because they're some very expensive trains and we want them to be spread out like we did similarly last episode. So first train is here. Second train here. This is the clockwise line, so it's going that direction. So if anything, this one needs to be stopped. This one also needs to be stopped. That's going to be very tricky. So we'll need to stop them in a train station, so that they're, or just past the train station actually, because they're still too long. So roughly when it's here, this one, we'll stop it. And then what we can do is keep an eye on these 2, so it's actually this way around. These trains. That was the first one, this was the next one, this was the last one. We want to spread them out so that there's 2 stations between them. Actually, there's a big gap between here and Easy 1, and then another big gap from here to up here, isn't it? Facing the north. So maybe just up to much, isn't it? It's annoying. So if we did... At least this one has a big gap between when they're split out, so it won't be affected by the train waiting in the station. So this one's going to go now. This one's full, 580 food. That's good. This one's getting there now. It does take quite a while for them to get across the... how long are these? 699 meters. That seems ridiculously long. Right, so this one's going to wait in Snaithcoic. How are these two doing? This one's coming up to Easenwold up here. So once this one leaves the station a little bit, we will stop it because then it will be out the way of all other trains. I reckon between Easingwold and Fazeley North is where we need to spread these out to, I would estimate. Right, so wait for it. There's plenty of track here in front of it, so I would stop it about there. There we go. Right, that's ready. So once this other one say once this one, sorry, this middle one is sort of past, sort of up here, that's when we let this one go, this third one go. We're probably going to take a bit of a hit money-wise from these, but it's fine, because what we're doing is making them more efficiently run the food with more even gaps between them. So this one's coming up to Easingwold, it looks like. Good. I think once this leaves Elstree, we should be able to let this one go that's coming up behind it. So this one will stay at Easingwold, and then once this is going, and this is sort of halfway between Easingwold and Fazeley North, then we can release it, and that should be that. Right, turning up to Easingwold, and it's going to make a lot of money here. This is full, and most of that's going to be going to Easingwold because it's got so many different delivery points. There we go, 38 million. That's quite a big payday. So what we'll need to do is stop this one where this one is now. So we're going to hopefully have this one go on through. And then we need to look at these other two lines, the grain lines as well. 12 million at Isenwald. I wonder whether this is going to catch up. Whether this middle one is going to catch up with the further north. Oh, it's slowing down. It looks like it's going to have to come to a stop, probably. I don't know, maybe it can keep going through. Yeah, it should be able to. There we go. Right. Oh wow, does anything deliver here? We do have stuff deliver there. Oh my goodness, we need to take this off the main road. I didn't even realise that was there. Never mind. Right. So this will end here. And we'll let this do what it needs to do. And start it. I mean stop it, even. So it's delivered a bunch of food. It's taking a little bit, because there isn't much to take. And once it starts moving, we will stop it. There we go. So if we time this correctly, hopefully we do, when we start this train, this one, the one right at the front of the queue, should be up at early. And hopefully that'll be spot on. Because once we let this one move, it only has a little way to go to get halfway between here and here. Right, this is coming down this way. I'm not too sure about this corner here, am I? It's a shame you can't minimise these. Keep them up, but minimise them. So, what we really need to do is avoid these tunnels, but also this tunnel and these corners. This is tricky, because there's so many different things going backwards and forwards here. We don't want it to be going so slow in this corner. Lines use this section. Quite a few actually. It's mostly this grain line. And that reminds me, we also need to upgrade these grain lines, don't we? They all come through to here. So let's have a quick look at these. Yeah, these are going to need upgrading. I reckon. How much does it currently have? 384. If we do two of them to be myself the right colour. Series 246s with the newer gondolas. It's 240. Let's just get them all to the same standard, doing the same stuff. So, locomotive series, gondolas, 120 on each, and finally line 12. Sell this other one. That should keep the speed high. Where is this one going to? It's coming up to Fazeley North. It's this corner that really does slow everything down. I mean, does anything actually go that way? I don't think anything does. So what we could do is do a separate crossing over for this stuff. Perhaps. So it doesn't interrupt. It's asking a lot for an autosave not to interrupt, to be fair. It just can't help itself. So all of this comes up here. Off that doesn't affect the other side. So I don't think that's going to be possible here. We could do like a crossover that comes over the top and then comes back down. over the top of this other one. Almost looks like it's not going to manage it. I think that's way too high. Just needs to stay flat. Take it down one. Still goes over the top. If we take it down another, then it doesn't quite. If we do something like that. That is roughly where it needs to go. So then, this. This is going on to Elstree Borehamwood now, which is good. That's good stuff. So then we can start this one. Where were we here? Over here. We need. Where's that split? Can we just have these two connect up? Oh, blimey, I think it's actually going across to... Oh, no. There's still a little bit to go. So if we just zoom out like this, we should see this going into Elstree and Borehamwood here. So that's roughly where we need to see it from. I'll recognise the bridge that curves. So, where were we? I've lost the bit that we were working on. It's over here, isn't it? No. What we could do, even, where these are connecting up here, is have them come over these other two and avoid all this other stuff. That could work quite well. So we take this, connect up to this one. We raise this up. Are these the same bridges? We can raise these up so that they don't actually have such a dip. But they need to go underneath these other two. So I don't know what point it will need to. Why has this gone back to 164? If we keep this all. That's as high as it'll go. So we have these split, because these connect further in. So we split from here. Ah, that's coming into Elstree and Bournemouth now, which is good. Split this from here. Come across this way, but stay flat. Then this will be connecting into this one here. That's causing an issue there. Okay. Right, let's just pause it for a second. So this is at Elstree and Bournemouth. So once this goes, we need to start this other one. There we go. So both on their way now. Now we just need to keep an eye on this middle one, because that's when this last one will go. That should be golden then. So what are we doing here? This needs to continue down a bit so that it goes underneath these other two, and then this splits off and connect up there. So what we need ideally is to separate these out. So this is coming through here now. Where does this merge? It merges there. So maybe if we separate them here. Doing the problem here, but this fly through should alleviate all that. So continue out this way. Bridge pillar collision. Will that go back? Yes. Okay. So where does this split? If we turn that off, then we should see the split. That goes down to 70 miles an hour, which 60 miles an hour, which fact, it could go up even steadier. So it doesn't need to go over until about here. Where's that train got to? Looks like it's still taking that corner. No, it's taking it. So once it gets to about here, I would say, even maybe further up here, maybe even on the bridge. Let's keep an eye out for the bridge. We'll use the bridge as the halfway point. I mean, that's way less. It's way more than halfway, but we'll use that for when it's going to come off of it. This connects up here, doesn't it? Yes. So this to go up to here. At which point it will come across here. So these need to stay flat and straight. And then come across and connect in there, I'd say. How's this doing? Where is this? Is this early? Oh, that is up early. Okay. We'll start it up. So that's roughly halfway between the two, which kinda works, yeah. Right, so these aren't working. So let's take and hopefully this will connect in. Bridge pillar collision. Damn. What if we go up in the middle? No? What if we go down? No. I have a funny feeling that it's got to cross a little bit more abruptly. So go down to a 79 mile an hour bend. Ooh, that's a bit better. Look at that, 145. It's a much nicer bend. So if we make this, copy it, goes down to 120 there. Bridge pillar collision. Damn. Why is it bridge pillar collision? It's not there. It's not there. It's not there. So it's just lying to us. Right, so now these, hopefully they'll already take them. No, they're not. Okay. So what we, signals wise, it's full stops to come in down here. So these lines go this way, meanwhile the other lines go the other way. Right, so if we work out which lines are going the other way, I would imagine it would be first off the rail lines that are, here we go. So they're just coming up to Paisley, so we need to put in waypoint. Waypoint going that direction. Add that one. There we go. And counterclockwise. Paisley. There we go. Now everything will go that direction. And avoid this horrible corner here. Hopefully nothing else is going that way. Yeah, nothing else is using that corner, which is good. It's there if stuff does need to go in that direction, but it shouldn't be using it. How's this lot doing? This is making a lot of money. This has gone through Paisley North. This is coming up to Easingwold. So hopefully those trains will make a fair bit of money. So if we look at the other ones going the other way, which we distributed out last time, if we just pull these up. First off, this line is making a decent whack of money now that it's all spread out and it's run its way through. They've all got a decent number of things on it. So the first one's actually coming in at Easingwold, which is ironic. The second one is going across to Paisley. The last one's down here, coming up too early. So a decent split. If anything, the gap between these two maybe could be increased. If we look at the money wise, each year they're making a decent amount of money, which is good. That's exactly what we want because they're spread out more. It means there's more food on the platforms for each train to pick up each time. So we'll need to come back to it in maybe a year or two's time and check on this line. So how is the grain line doing? Because I would imagine these aren't as spread out as they could be. First off, this line is making a decent amount of money. But how spread out are they? running out of space. So we've got 8, 11, which is on its way up to face the north. 8, 12, which is just coming over the new crossover that we just put through. 8:13, which is down here by the. Maybe we could improve this section. Interacting with this other line, slowing it down. So 8:13, 8:14 is literally right behind it, and 8:15 is right behind that. So this isn't that well spread out, which isn't good. This line, similarly to the other one, has 6 stops, so arguably it doesn't need this many trains, I don't think. I think it would be fine with, say, 3. Actually, if we did just do these 3, they're already... No, these 2 are right behind each other, look. So yeah, they do need to be spread out. 8:13. 8:15 is a Snaith Cohen. So we take out 14 and 12. Oh, they're actually smaller trains because the gondolas are smaller. So that's good. So we take out 14, which only has 17 stuff, and 12, which has 767. Then we've got 1 up nearly at Faisley, 1 that's going up to Easingwold, and 1 that's down at Snaith Cowick. So I would say once this one is halfway, well actually, up here halfway, then this one should be early, and that's when we'll start this one up again. So we need to look at the other direction as well. So this is clockwise that we're looking at currently. So means this is... Where is this? Ah, it's still to go past Budley, Sawston and stuff. Gotcha. Just cut this corner off and have the tunnel come through this way, because effectively the brick and stone lines that go through don't need to go anywhere near this stuff. And if we did that here, then that would be avoiding this point as well. That could be a plan. But let's focus on the grain stuff to begin with. So let's also look at the counterclockwise line. So we've got number 16, number 17, number 18, number 19, and number 20, 820. So again, these are making decent money, but they could probably make a lot more if they were, number 1, all a lot more full, and number 2, spread out through the line a lot better. So first off, keep in mind this one needs needs to get past Easingwold. It's coming up to Budley Salterton, so it's got a little while to go. So let's focus on these ones. Where are these ones? This one's... Oh, this is tricky. Where is this? Going towards... Yeah, going towards Early. That's an easy thing to keep in mind, okay. So... Hold on, are these not in the right... Yeah, I don't think these are in the right order. So that's more like there. Okay. Okay, there's quite a gap between those two, which is good. So this one's going up to Early. This one's just behind it. It's leaving this station. A lot of grain here, to be fair. This one's coming into that station. This one's also coming into that station. So if we get rid of these two, then we've got this one at this station here. And this one's going up to Early, isn't it? This one, once it's stopped there, okay, we'll just stop it there, it's fine. And then this one is coming down to Snaithcowick, so it's gonna catch up a little bit with this one, which is not what we want, but once it's at the station we can park it there. Where's this one gone to? It's coming up to Easingwold, which is good. Autosave is just doing its thing. I tell you what, these are making a lot more money than the other lines. It seems like distributing grain to the different, so the raw resource to the different factory locations is a lot more effective than delivering, well, the other bits and bobs. So we want to stop this train once it gets there. What I mean by getting there, I mean gets to this stop here. And of course we want to start this train once this one gets further up. Or this one gets to Early, which is not good. Soon. So we've got this one coming up to Upper Early here. Ah, this one's turning up at Snaithcowick. What I may do is just pop these down here, so it's easier to see stuff, things and stuff. Main screen. So we're going to stop that there. This one. So this one will need to get one, two, would have to get up to here. This one would need to get to up here. I'd say around here before we start this one. This one needs to get to Early before we start this one. Upper Early is the point that that will need to start. That's the absolute maximum we can leave it to. So this one's coming in Early. It needs this gets to Elstree and Bournemouth. This one's full, 580 grain, so not too shabby. Looks like there's a lot of grain here to take away. That just made 19 million. Pretty decent. It's dropped off about 280, 300 odd grain here. That's not too shabby. Ah, how are we doing here? So this is on its way. So it's doing 64 through here, which isn't too bad. We could probably improve it if we had this be the main route through, and then if it wants to split off to go down here, be the secondary route. We could look at doing that. Right, so this one's coming up to, well, it's just leaving early. This one's coming down to early. This one's coming up to the point where we'll start this one. And then what we'll do for this one, once this gets to early, up at early, we can start the one at Snaith Cowick. Hopefully that will spread them out a bit further through the line. Be fuller throughout the entire track, if that makes sense. It doesn't really, does it? But it does in my head. Looks like we've got some trucks that may need to be sold there. Too many trucks on a line. This is sort of the point where we want to start this one from. So this should be coming down to Upper Early. It's not really there yet. This is sort of the point where we want to do that. Sort of halfway here. Is this one Elstree yet? No. No, it's not. So we'll start this one. It's going to drop off all of its stuff and pick up more, which is good. So this line is now spread out. So, supposedly. So we're going to spread out this one now. So once this one gets to Elstree and Bournemouth, that's when we can let this one go. And then once train 817 gets to Upper Early, that's when we can let this one down at Snaithcoat go. This is coming up to Elstree now. This is good. We're getting to the point where we need to allow this one to go. So once this starts to leave the station here, we'll let it go. Go, go, go. Dropping off its grain. Fair bit of grain to drop off. Right. That's filling up. I think this needs to drop off and pick up its stuff, doesn't it? And then that should be when it will get going. We need to upgrade these other trains that use this line because it's going to slow down these faster trains. So, once this train gets to Early, Upper Early, look at these. Oh, bless me. Goodness. Once this train gets to Upper Early, that's when we can let this other one go. So, speaking of trains, 288. So if we replace two of these with series 246s, excuse me, that should be a good upgrade. Down here, we need to upgrade these trains, so first off, how much is this taking? It's roughly around here, so like under the 100 mark. I think at most it's going to need 2 trains. I think 200 is way too much capacity. So let's do one of these. One of these, is this one? Yeah, this is the one at the station right now. So get rid of the other ones. We'll upgrade this to be a grain train. It's going to have 120 capacity. Maybe even more. Wait, no, these are the old... Oh, I was wondering why that was happening. Those are the old boxcars, we need the new ones. 120 is the tipping point. There we go. Alright, how's this doing? Is this up too early yet? No, it's not. But hopefully, there's less in its way now. Going backwards and forwards here. I mean, we could just carry on the line up here and then separate them out. They don't have to be on the same track. And to be fair, that may be a good idea. And then same with the other side even. We can continue this down. Let's do that. So where does this one merge? Here. So if we put in this side, 2 extra lines. Back in roughly here. Pop that there. I think my cat just sneezed. Bless him. And then we'll do the same here, so put in one there. They split here. These do the same up to here. Boom. And then what we want is to nice good bend, 178 mile an hour, 152 mile an hour. That's golden. So what we do need to do is have a separate line coming across here. And here. Coming off. That's a bit too far. That's a bit too far. Okay, that's as far as we can take it. Do this going into there. We can do a double slip switch there. Double slip switch there. In fact, if we did one coming off there, that goes right across all 3 lines. And we can do double slip switch there, double slip switch there, double slip switch there. So all the trains can swap over here if they need to. Then again, they shouldn't really need to from going forward. So what we want to do is have a line going through here, which will connect up to that one. That's 73 miles an hour. We don't want it to be 183, something like this. 186, straight in there. Jolly good. So we're not removing what's already there. Wouldn't be much sense in just removing stuff for the sake of removing stuff. What we do want is for this to go in here. I don't think it's going to, is it? It's going to split off. Go in there. How fast is that? 186. Good, okay. So this would be coming back. That would be going that way. We don't want to stop. So we want this to be one way. Going up and back. And then down here, we don't actually need these connections because we put in the double slip switches further back up. some more double slips so the stuff can go across if it needs to, although it shouldn't. We'll do the same on the other side. There we go. Right. So now this should not interact with the other trains going down, up and down this bit. Cool. So this needs to get to upper early, then we can allow this one to do its thing. Where does this one get to? It's up at Faisley North already. That's good. So hopefully once it's through from Faisley North, it will get about halfway between those two areas, and that would be where we start up the other one, but I doubt it. I think it needs a bit bigger of a gap from here, but it's fine. You know, as long as it's spread out to a certain degree, then it won't necessarily have a lot less. What we don't want is more capacity than demand. We want more demand than there is capacity, but only slightly, so that there's decent supply. Right, this is coming up to this station. 165 in this train. So, as that one starts, this one needs to get to this station, so it's going to roll in. Oh no, no it doesn't. Okay, it needs to leave. Okay. So once this one gets to about here, we'll let this one go. Actually, it's not quite up here, but considering it's, you know, a circular line taking into account all of the map, it's not too bad. Judging it. It's difficult because there's more lines on this side than there are going down this side. But right, there we go. So now that one's going to head to Rochdale. It should spread them out. So if we check, we've got counterclockwise here. So if we bring up clockwise, we also bring up clockwise and counterclockwise for the grain hubs, for the food hubs even. Oh yeah, look at that. They're making a lot more money now. So I reckon this will take maybe a few years to get up to where it would be, where it would be equalized out. And that should be really quite positive. So how's this doing? Back in 2019 we transported quite a lot, 975 food. But last year we transported 1,200 on this one. So transportation wise, this one did 1,900 back then. In 2027, if we look at the same year as the other one, 2019, it was actually an off year, but it did 1,400 grain. That's pretty nuts. And the reason this one looks smaller is because it's out of 3,000, whereas this is out of 2,000. So these would be around here. They'd be just underneath this one. So once they've spread out, I reckon these 3 trains will do better than the past 50 years. Out of the past 50 years, the highest we did was 1,200. Actually, in this one, that was last year we did 1,200. So yeah, we're doing really quite well. These should be relatively positive with it profit income, so that's good. So if we look at the different lines, the different stations, we got Upper Early, Budley, Salterton. If we put these on the Upper Early, Budley, Salterton, Snaith, Upper Easingwold, which actually has quite a lot of food. Oh, grain, sorry. So these are the north. And Elstree, Bournemouth. This one has so much grain. It's a bit nuts. So what we need to do is transport it through the rest. Obviously we've just been spreading out those trains, so it's likely that they're on their way at the moment. And then if we look at the factories even, so if we put this down here, if we look at the factories, probably the easiest way would be to have one of these consumers up. So we would want up it early, so early food, pop it down here. We would want Rochdale, pop that down here. We want Snaithcoic. If we look at Upper Easingwold, if we look at Faisley North, and then Elstree and Warrenwood down here. So this is a lot of numbers, but what we can tell is that Early, Rochdale and Snaithcoic are all missing grain. So what we are seeing is that Faisley, Elstree and Easingwold all have enough grain. So what we can do is from those suppliers that are not getting to these other factories is move them, put some separate lines in to these factories that are not getting the grain come through. And looking at it, Snaithcoic is the one that needs the food the most. Or sorry, it needs the grain the most. What we want to do is get these bars into the blue. So these are at 300, and it looks like these may be going up for Faisley slightly. What we can do is improve the lines between the grain factories and the sorry, not the grain factories, what am I on about? The farms and the food processing plants. And that should... No, this is just hovering at 329, isn't it? It's bizarre. It's a bit strange that these aren't really... The disparity between the lot. I mean, Elstree does have a lot of food, a lot of grain going to it. So... But hopefully what this can tell us, consumer-wise... Look at that, 100% across the board. That's really good. That is really, really good. Easingwold's at the top of each one. Easingwold is the top dog here. It's consuming the biggest amount of food. Whitney is probably one of the lower ones, which is fine. Okay. Cool. If we look at the overview again, so first thing I would like to do is improve the ones at Faisley, just because they're so close to being perfect. What we would need, if it's 2 grain for 1 food, and we need there's a maximum of 400 production, we'd need 800 grain to get to Faisley, which should be 4 farms, I believe. I'm going to grab a quick screenshot of this. Maybe. Did I? Did it work? if that's taken the screenshots. Yeah, that took screenshots. Weird. Didn't do the sound. Never mind. Cool. So, yeah, I think I'm going to focus on Paisley for now. And hopefully, I mean, it would be awesome if we could just minimize this lot and then come back to this screen. It does feel like sometimes you want to go away to these numbers and scrutinize them a little bit and then come back to them after you've done stuff to see whether you've improved it. Snaithcoic is really the one that needs improvement. So suppliers-wise, which ones are not getting to it? Easingwold, Elstree, Chapel in the Frith, Botsford, Elstree. And then even these ones are only getting 18% to it. Paisley. So if we disregard this other stuff for now. Oh, it feels bad to close them because they take, whoops, so long to open them all up. If we close these. So if we put the ones which have decent levels, in fact, let's go to the overview. So decent levels, it would be about Snaithcoic at the bottom, Elstree, Borehamwood, or Easingwold at the top, because they're at about 400 production. You've got this in the middle, and then it would be this one. So hang on, let's put Easingwold and Elstree and Borehamwood down at the bottom because they're pretty much perfect. They're done, so to speak. You've then got Paisley, which is close to being perfect. You've got Rochdale, which is at no. You've got Early, which is at 270. Then it goes down at Rochdale, and it goes down at... Where's Rochdale? Down here. Okay, gotcha. And then Snaithcoic's over here. But we've literally just put in brand new connections for Elstree for this stuff, for delivering grain. So, if we have a quick look at the suppliers for this one, most of them's 100%, which, you know, the big hitters, Chapel in the Frith, Elstree, and Botsford, for these ones, they're getting all their numbers to them. If anything, Barking's not. Like, we could improve some of these, but not many of them. Elstree actually gets quite a lot of different grain from different places, which is interesting. And they've got quite a bit stored. Easingwold doesn't. And again, consumers, 100%. Everything's getting to where it needs to go. That's not the problem. The problem's the supply. So if we beef up the supply for these three, and also this one, then hopefully it will mean that more food gets to the cities that need it. So what we need to consider is which suppliers are not getting the food to these factories. So if I just organize these down here, maybe we'll be able to see a trend between suppliers that are not Elstree, Borehamwood, this one is not really getting its food to where it needs to go, which is interesting. which makes sense actually because a lot of that comes in down here. So if we look at, what was it, this one? How much transport's 100%? That makes no sense. Oh, they're not actually shipping any there. They're not shipping any to these food plants, probably because it's all going, yeah, to Easing Mod. And it's getting 100% of its 174 that it's sent. That could probably go up, if anything. Okay. Well, if we could turn off ones that aren't actually sending stuff. So, barking. Barking looks to not get two of them. Once again, these are farms over here. It looks like farms over here have a tough time getting their grain to where they need to go. What we could do is build a road there, which then just makes a straight line through. Build a couple of decent hubs, and hopefully do it via building roads, building destinations to each. So 52 and 54% get to where it needs to go from there. Oh wow, look at all these trucks. Yeah, we need to do something about all this. This is bad. This is very bad, because this will have an effect on the grain as well, I think. Most probably. Yeah. Okay, noted. This bit's bad. How's this one doing? 54%. Even this one over here is not doing that well. Weird. Why are they all doing pretty badly? That's such a weird thing. I don't understand. Interesting. So we've got Barking Farm down here, Barking Farm over here, Barking Farm, Barking Farm. They're getting quite low numbers, getting to where they need to go. So Elstree Borehamwood is also quite bad up here. 67%, 60%, 60%. It's bizarre because you would have thought where it's bringing it in here, it would be fine. Because it would just go on to this, but that might be just a bottleneck. Because look at how much grain is just sitting here, waiting to go. Even though we've got some beefy trees, they're not able to keep up. So where are these? We have one over here. Down here is Smithcowick. One should be coming up to it actually. Or is it just left early? Ah, yeah, it's just left early, so it's just left from there actually. But look at the numbers. These are really doing wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's good. That's good to see. But anyway, what we need to try and do is go through these different farms. So if we focus on Snaithcoic, which ones are really low? Elstree, Broughton store is all the ones down here because there's just so much grain coming into this one hub. Maybe we could divert it. Maybe if we diverted it to other places, that could help. We've got another food factory. We've got grain here. There's just too much grain coming into one hub for it to be able to be distributed throughout. So we need to create distribution lines from each of these farms to... I think the easiest way would be to do it to all of them, I guess, or to the ones that they're not getting to. So it's not a problem actually getting the grain here. It's a problem getting the grain from there to where it needs to go. And these are just going to be filling up. Look at that, 580. So what we need to do is actually put in, how many consumers are there? 6, isn't there? One of them already sorted. So if we put 4 in for each of these, there we go. Connection there. Connection here. We got one over here. One in there. One over here, which is going to be tricky to get a decent connection in, really. Maybe if we did it over here. We've done that one. We got this one over here. We got the motorway right here, so it'd be really good if we could fit it in somewhere here. We got one over here. This is a good connection because it goes straight over into the motorway over here. And it even has a connection to the motorway over this way, which is good. We got this one over here. Is there any other farms that go into this hub here? I don't think there is. It's really weird with phasing because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. These farms should be able to cope, should be able to supply phasally everything it needs, but it's distributing it out to other places, isn't it? Which is the problem with the distribution lines, is if you can just have 4 farms going into one factory, that's all you would really need. But anyway, let's focus on these down here. So what we can do is put in connections to we can put in connections to the Snaith code, which we've just done. these roads through. There. Let's upgrade these. There isn't actually a very good link here to the motorway, is there? This line doesn't have too many trains going backwards and forwards on it, does it? We could do a road through here. Something like this. I might tend to just connect this through, because I mean this already has a lot of farmland. Upgrade this road through. If we could upgrade this road. That's annoying, can't be. Put that in there. That's broken that link though. So we are going to need to do something here. Put in these. Connection there. There we go. That's good. Okay. So I think if we do connections from these farms to the ones that are struggling, which is Rochdale, Snaithcoic. Snaithcoic's now 100%. Why? Why has that changed? Was it Snaithcoat that was having the problems? Was it Early? Early is having trouble. How about Elstree? Elstree's fine. Hey, Faisley's getting up there. That's good. Okay. So what we will need is a connection. We will need a delivery section for this stuff. It's probably best if we put it on this side. We've got this main road here. If we could somehow bring a road over from this motorway, that'd be quite good. You've got this train going backwards and forwards, which is not making us a lot of money. Because it looks like one train would do the job fine. Well, I mean, if we had a better route out here that delivers all the food there, we would probably want to do a better connection here. Ah, that reminds me, we need to look at that plastics bit. So if we do this, and of course, right as you go to do something, autosave just interrupts. We can't upgrade that bit, which is annoying. That'll go to there. And then we'll do a connection, something like this, that goes over the top. If we take it down a bit. There we go. Get that connection in there. What we could do is do a second connection that goes over like this. So if we do that, take it down. Then this connects in down here. Can we upgrade these roads? No. Can we upgrade this road? No. Bridge pillar. Issue. Yep, that makes sense. And we can't upgrade any of this stuff. We can upgrade these roads. So it may be worth having a road that comes out this way and goes underneath or something. So if we did a road out this way. Why can't it? It's just too big, isn't it? If we try going underneath. We start pushing this back up. There we go. If we raise this up, this is. We just basically want to put in. If this comes up here, and then what that goes down there. We could remove this connection if we supersede. Where are we going to put in our delivery point? I'm thinking around here somewhere. Can we upgrade these roads? Yeah. Not this one. Okay. Let's just go through this. Some good connections. Straight in there. Upgrade these to tarmac at least. So we've got a few points where the connections can come in. In fact, we might as well use this bit as a connection as well. Why don't we just put in straight connection there, so it's just one Let's split it up to 2 again. It's a little bit annoying. Never mind. And then we'll put in these connections here, and then hopefully they'll go up and down this one. But they probably won't. We've got a main connection in this way. Unfortunately, we've had to only have a small road going through here. We've got main connection out this way. Maybe we could link up down here through. Connect that up there. This road? No. This connection through here isn't going to be the best because, I mean, we do have this nice good road here. Let's upgrade this. Upgrade these roads here, so we might as well actually this bit. And then it would only be this section through here that's going to be slower. So that's a straight route up that way from this connection here. Transport right. It's not really getting to where it needs to go. So let's do the connections from these ones to phase to hopefully just improve it. Let's do from here, here, here. Ooh. There. Here. And then isn't there one over here as well? If we do a connection out that way as well. So it's likely a lot of these are going to go out up this way and cut across. So we want to deliver to Faisley. This one goes to number 2, maybe. Oh, no, they are spread out. And then how many more? We got 5 and